So we're ready to go in the Diamond Challenge Sculls. The Dane Poulsen, I watched yesterday, very impressive. And Danny Gutierrez, the Spaniard on the buck station. These two high-quality performers trying to progress into the weekend of the Diamond Challenge Sculls. Gutierrez just heading out central, and will need to be aware of the steering going on there. Seems to be correcting.
He really was pushed across there by the stream, wasn't he? That's quite interesting to see with all the rain overnight. And there he's responding. He's done very well.
So a clash early, and the umpire getting very busy. Gutierrez, the Spaniard, went too far out into the middle of the water and had a real issue with the steering. Poulsen, the Dane, continuing straight on, but that was a bit of a mess from the Spaniard, and it may have cost him dear, because just looking now, it is the Dane who's taken the lead.
Yeah, Gutierrez in the last two rounds has been really aggressive and led out, and he's maintained this rate of cadence to really, for quite a long time, to dominate his opposition, but here he's having to use it to get back on terms with Poulsen.
So they seem to have calmed things down on the water. So difficult, the steering though, isn't it, when you're in those singles and you've got a lot going on in your mind, especially with the weather conditions today and the pressure of the event.
Yeah, and look to him, look, he's actually going straight, but we got pushed sideways across. It wasn't like he steered badly, just the stream did push him across. But he's had to do a lot of work to get himself here back ahead. I mean, Poulsen is not normally a single sculler in terms of racing. He's been trying to get into the Danish Coxless 4, and he's the fifth man of that crew. And he's always wanted to race here, but now Gutierrez on terms, but he's done a lot of work to get there.
It has got the makings of a perfect matchup, this one, from what I've seen in the last couple of days here at Henley Royal Regatta. These two have both impressed in different ways, and you get the Dane Poulsen on the Berkshire station to the right of your picture, up level with the Spaniard at the moment as Temple Island fades into the distance.
Because Gutierrez is yet to be tested really at this regatta. He's been really good at dominating, getting out in front, but here, coming past the barrier, you can see the post there in the background. The crews are pretty level, maybe slightly up, but not very far.
Plenty can change.
Gutierrez is still attacking a lot more than Poulsen is, isn't he? He really is going for it.
This is a good indicator in these singles, because the boats are so light, and the athletes, yeah, they're very skilled at dealing with any conditions thrown at them. But you can see the water is very calm and still today, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
The boats, there's no fluctuations or ups and downs. They're just gliding along.
Poulsen here, very cleverly, as we come to the middle of the course, he's moved across to make sure he's on the better side of the course. As the course moves away from the bank, he's better off on that far side, so he's done very well managing himself there.
It's a brilliant bit of steering.
Yeah, really clever sculling, really clever sculling.
I mean, it's all very well to work that out ahead of the race, but then to execute it as well, just have that bit of drift in the boat.
Exactly now. But he's... And Poulsen, though, really is going to have to start stopping. He's going to have to stop Gutierrez from moving away now. But Gutierrez still, the stroke rate is still so much higher. Really must be in great shape to be able to take this many strokes a minute and keep moving.
Yeah, so Danny Gutierrez, the Spaniard in the red that you can see nearest to the picture, he's going at a very good rate. He's quite short, sharp, snappy.
Yeah, it's really explosive in a shorter stroke. Poulsen, his hands are much wider apart at the catch, you can see, so he's really reaching further around. But it's not giving him the boat speed that Gutierrez is getting. And it's quite a modern thing, actually. In the last 4 to 6 years in international rowing, some of the crews now race the much higher stroke rate. It's become quite fashionable.
So in and out the water quicker.
Yeah, exactly. So shorter strokes, take strokes more often.
Which we saw in a couple of the bigger boats earlier on, quite effectively. Exactly what you said, and it worked. But is it horses for courses to stretch? I mean, the fact that the water is as it is today, does that make a shorter, sharper style that we're seeing here more or less effective?
I think these guys are skillful. It doesn't matter on the conditions. I think it's more the case. It's a choice, and you have to train to it.
Would they?
Yeah,
so,
they would adapt.
Yeah.
So they would train. So they would train to take the higher stroke rate in their training. Just the way their training program would be very different.
So they look at the surface, they look at the conditions that they're dealing with, and think, right, I've got to this is my plan today.
No, that was my mirror. No, they would just row this the way all the time.
Okay.
I think it's too hard to change the way you row. You spend all these hours doing mileage to try and row one specific style. You can't suddenly, under pressure, row a different way. You'll make a mess of it.
You're undoing.
So yeah, Gutierrez, having had a really dodgy start with the steering and everything, has really put Poulsen to the sword. Gutierrez has really dominated all the way through this regatta. It's really quite impressive.
He has, and it was going to be interesting today to see what he produced, because Poulsen, perhaps a higher quality athlete than Gutierrez has been up against previously. That's what you'd expect as the week goes on, but equally as dominant.
Certainly is. And you know, and you look at him now and the people he's beaten, and he failed to qualify for the Olympics. I mean, that is brutal, isn't it? That somebody as good as this is unable to go to the Olympic Games.
It does just show the strength in depth in this event. Spanish long distance national championship in 2024, beating 2 world and European silver medalists in the men's double. And here we've got Poulsen, the Dane, who I've been really impressed with this week. He's put in some terrific performances himself, but maybe a bridge too far today.
I mean, he's a really good athlete. He was fighting, he was in a group of 5 people to try and get into the Danish Coxless 4, and he ended up being the 5th man, and he's always really wanted to come here and race.
Yesterday he won by a couple of lengths, Poulsen. Slowly built up a lead yesterday, slowly drifted into 2nd place today. And Danny Gutierrez is one to watch. If you're back in the boat tent and you're Zeidler, you might be thinking, it's going to be an interesting matchup.
He's definitely going to have to keep his eye out on him, isn't he? So Gutierrez now able to sort of back off a little bit now. He's Scull within his means. And you can see as he's doing this, his hands do go much wider. He is rowing much longer at this lower rate.
He won by 5 lengths yesterday, Gutierrez. And it's going to be a similar margin today. Little glance over the shoulder. He'll be pleased to see the finish line looming large. Nice socks, by the way.
Yeah, they often wear those because the slides that the seats are on that slide up and down the boat, they often cut their calves into the slides. And that's to protect them from getting scabs on their calves.
It's the colour I like rather than the length.
Goes well with the orange, doesn't it?
Gutierrez, the Spaniard in the Diamond Challenge Sculls. He looks one to watch over the weekend. Another great performance. Poulsen's had a really good week. He's himself bossed some big races, some big wins for him, but goes out on the Friday in the Diamond Challenge Sculls, the Dane. Well done there, the Spaniard. Great performance. It'll be interesting to watch how he goes over the weekend.
Yeah, definitely going to be one to watch.